Hello everyone, it's Andy Glen here from SharksTV, welcoming you to another weekly podcast with Martin Grubb. Martin, how are you doing?
Good, Andy, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a difficult week for everyone involved with hockey, so it's a bit sombre this week, isn't it? So what's your thoughts on Adam and what happened?
Yeah, tragic, obviously tragic, terribly sad. Obviously, myself, the club, and everybody's thoughts go out to Adam's family, friends, and teammates. And I think both sets of players obviously been involved in that game, medical staff, rink staff. As I say, just a tragic accident that nobody ever wanted to witness or even hear about. And the whole sport has been shocked and shaken by it. And just a difficult time. We as a club just, obviously we didn't play Sunday for obvious reasons. So we just made sure that we got the players in here, we kept them together, we checked that obviously first and foremost they were okay. Their mental health as much as obviously their physical well-being. And thankfully they've stuck together and helped each other out in a difficult time and been back on the ice this week. So it's like you say, somber week, never a nice thing, but we as a club will obviously with support, and we will follow the mandated rules regarding neck protection and support the governing bodies in doing their thing, and have subsequently ordered the players' neck protection. Difficulty is that the supply and demand issues, so you may see us, just so people know, I guess they may see us for a week, maybe 2 weeks without, or it might be a drip feed effect. But yeah, as a club, we've 100% supported that. We're already on it, as every other club is, in ordering the stuff, and our players will be suitably protected as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, as you say, it's been a tough week, and as you might imagine, all our thoughts go to anyone and everyone who's been affected by it. Let's look at some positives before all that happened. We've got the Hull Seahawks game, a team that were near the top of the league, or still are near the top of the league, a team playing well and a real challenge. And I think it's fair to say we got the performance of the season out the Sharks team. Firstly, how did you get that performance out of the team, and how did it feel?
That performance has been there. I think we probably need to say that firstly. It's not as if these players were not trying to produce that every week. But we after the Leeds result, and I know we covered that on the podcast of how unhappy I was, and to be fair, the players were just as unhappy. So we done a little bit of soul searching in terms of just bringing the best version of ourselves to the rink. Jamie and I, with Craig and John, went and met the ownership, and we had a chat on how things are going, where we wanted to go. John, David and Phil wanted to let us know that we were still being supported in terms of getting this right. And we had a series of one-to-one meetings last week. Every player had a one-to-one meeting with Jamie and I, and they had the chance to air anything from their side. But we had some very clear notes we wanted to go over, people's positives, development areas, and so forth, and give the players the credit. They took that on board. Actually, feedback seems to be they quite enjoyed it. But we simply asked for a performance. We asked for them to play with the same passion that we've been getting for the stands, that we've been wanting to produce, and I thought that was our most complete 60 minutes of the season. And for once, we actually got what we deserved out of it, and it was great to see the win, the buzz around the place, and obviously it was just curtailed by the tragic events we covered, but
it was a brilliant performance. It really was.
Yeah, I think from start to finish, Hull are a good team. As you say, they're near the top for a reason. They've started well. They've got a lot of firepower, good goaltending, and I thought that we dominated long spells. I've heard a few people, I know Hull, Matty Davis and Hull himself saying he thought they were really poor, but I also think that takes a bit away from us, because I don't think we let them play. I think that's one of the keys. We obviously, we went over some of the stuff last week about the tools that's available to myself and Jamie and how we had to prepare. And I think that, we were prepared, but the credit goes to the players because they've got to execute the plan, and they executed it to almost perfection. And I'm really happy with how we played.
That's an interesting point that you made there, because I have a question along similar lines. After the game, when I was looking through some of the social media things and looking through some of the Hull Seahawks fans forums, their fans were really unhappy with them and how they played, and I felt a little bit disparaging towards us as a club. Of we shouldn't be getting beat off a bottom of the table club like this, and I don't think the league necessarily understands how good the Sharks can be, and I'm kind of wondering, is that a message to everybody in this league that don't take us for granted? Don't think you're coming along here to get an easy ride.
Yes and no. I mean, I think that with any new team, I guess it's like a promoted team into some of the sports that have got promotion relegation. If you're a new team, which we are at this level, I think you've got to earn some respect and prove almost that you belong at that level. Now, obviously, internally from our group of players, management, ownership, and especially our fans, we know we belong at this level. And we were kind of waiting on this kind of performance just to let everybody else know that. And we did say, social media and on these on this podcast and these kind of interviews that we've always said, once we get going, we feel we'll be a force to be reckoned with, and there's always an element of time. So I think that was the first step, and we got the 4-point weekend the other week. If we had played anybody but the top two the next week, who knows, we might be in a totally different position. But I think it was good to go back and show that kind of performance. And I do agree, I think that it has taken a little bit away from us, a little bit of respect away from us, and saying that, whether that was Hull's best performance or not, or worst performance, I guess that's for them to sift through the wreckage. But for us, we knew we had a game plan. We knew the structure we wanted to play. We knew how we could stop them playing, and we knew how good we were. Ultimately, that was the key. We knew how good a team we were, and we needed everybody else to see that. And we needed the players to show not only our own fans, but certainly the opposition, just how good we are. And that's the first step in that. So, we don't bleat on the other side of things. If we got beat for Leeds, and I don't think we were great, but they were better than us. So if you get beat by a better team on the night, sometimes you've got to take your medicine and move on. And for us now, it's more about looking forward and trying to replicate that performance rather than other teams looking at how poor maybe they were. I guess that's not for us to look at. We're happy that we done our job, and if anybody wants to take us lightly, good luck to them. We're focusing solely on ourselves. If you take us lightly, you're going to get burned.
Interestingly, on podcasts each week, you and I have both said that we're learning from mistakes and doing things like that. I'm wondering if there's something that you've learned about your team from this victory and how we played.
Yeah, I think that one of the main things we've learned is, as a group, all of us, is just how harsh the league has been in terms of getting punished for your mistakes. And for myself and Jamie and as coaches, you've got to stay positive, but you've got to make sure we drill down the finer points. Like, again, we went through the video setup last week. Just making sure the players are prepared, that they have to be sponges. They have to take on the pre-scout of the opposition. That's important. And then we do that. We do that up here on a Saturday night, a couple of hours before face-off. We focus on the other team's pre-scout. Then, when we get in the dressing room, we only talk about ourselves from there. So we've kind of made a slight adjustment and differentiate from, what other teams' tendencies may be and what we need to look out for, to then really solely focus on, and we are going to combat this, or we are going to be expected to do the opposite. So, I think I wouldn't say I've learned a lot in terms of our team. I'm happier knowing that character and that almost that bounce back ability and desire to win is still there. I think some people, rightly or wrongly, is always going to be debated, but some people maybe, I brought up the glory days, I called them in the Leeds interview, but some people are saying, is this the same Sharks? Has it got the same kind of heart and desire? And I think we answered the question on Saturday that this is still a team, it's still the same values, it's still the same culture that we've had here, and it would just need to continue to build and be patient. And I asked for patience last week, but we ultimately still had to ask the players to do more. So I've learned that when you ask them, they take it on board. It's nice to see that they've got that thirst for learning and that passion for winning. And I think I've seen a team that almost the switch flicked a little to say that we've beat a top end team now. And I think we're desperate now to kick on, and hopefully that takes us into a great place this weekend.
I was actually going to ask how much more does the performance on Saturday have to improve so that we are competing with Leeds and Milton Keynes?
I mean, it's still, I think, you ask any coach, any manager in any of that kind of any sporting environment, they always want more. I'm no different there.
Yeah.
We still need to cut out some of our defensive mistakes. We still gave them couple of too many chances, grade A chances. I thought Callum was outstanding. And potentially with someone like a Kieran Brown that we've discussed before, we might have found ourselves behind an 8 ball at one point. So we've got to still be a bit smarter defensively. I'd still like to see, I thought our special teams was so much better, but I'd like to still see us being a little bit more ruthless. But the main point of discussion this week for us was not even necessarily about being the best team, as I've discussed this before, but it's about being most consistent. Mm-hmm. So now I think the first challenge is consistently producing at least that level of performance, and if each week we can make it a little bit better, finding ways to 1% here, 1% there, then we're naturally going to get better, and winning breeds confidence. And once we get really into our stride, because I still don't think we've hit our full stride yet. Once we get into our stride, then hopefully we won't be too far away. But we've still got to preach patience, because Leeds and Milton Keynes have been top teams in this league for a long time now, and our desire to be as good, if obviously better than them, is still as hungry as ever.
Yeah, you've got to forgive me for asking the question, because like you're saying, like coach wants one good performance and I want us to win the league. Speaking to people round about me when watching it, they were saying it's the most complete performance since Coventry. We struggled with the people round about me to pick our man of the match because it was a proper team performance. I mean, you mentioned Callum was wonderful, that save in the first period, but Cal McGill had his best game for me in our Sharks top, and some other players you just felt like, you kind of said it like a switch.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, and we've known each other long enough now that
you're not going to pick up players.
I struggle to single people out. You know what? I'm kind of going to break a little bit of that today, where I thought Callum Boyd was our spark plug. I thought that Boydie coming back just gave us a kind of renewed energy.
Fans reacted to it as well, didn't they?
The fans love him, obviously. The no Boydie, no parties chant was early doors right there, and he's a menace, right? He's a pest. And I think people fed off of that. It allowed our top line to do their job offensively.
Think it took a wee bit of pressure off?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I just think that, I think after the week we had with it was, say, the meeting and then the one-to-ones, and I think I deliberately asked them to draw a line in the sand, right? Forget what's in the past, and let's just move forward as of the pre-game meeting Saturday. Let's move forward, forget, and grow. And I think that as a group, like I agree, you mentioned McGill, I thought Callum was fantastic. Say Boydie was there as a spark plug. We keep running out of the superlatives to talk about Hairdo. I mean, he gets us going again.
Brilliant.
Peaks and Dunny are getting better every week and doing almost what's expected, but they've still got to do it. I think that Scotty's getting there with and an understanding now with Nolan. You look at, Lewis Houston's had a terrible time to come through, but a cracking goal that he gets in. And then you look at the back end. Olivier's still logging loads of minutes, and for me, he's outstanding. Stents and Kersey were at their best, I think, this weekend. Kel was
It was good.
Was much
really
better
good.
again. Like, and obviously you're not specifically talking about everybody. I also have to mention Struan as the captain because he was ill. He played one shift, but he was determined that he's going to be on the bench. He could have easily took the night off and stayed at home. And as a leader, he was like, "No, I will be here. I will make sure the players get the support they need." And that's what we need from both our captain and a leader in this team. So I think as a group there was a little switch that flicked, and they stuck together, and they produced, as you say, that complete 60 minutes that let's be honest, the fans have been asking for, and kind of probably wondering where the 60 minutes has went to. Jamie and I as coaches have been looking for that. So it was nice. It was nice to see the players get the reward. That was the thing that pleased me the most. We see it where, if you execute what we're looking to do, I always know that we've got the ability, but I was just really pleased for them to get the rewards for hard work, being clinical when we got our chances, and obviously beating a top team who, if they had won that game, I think they would have went either top equal or 2 points behind Leeds as the leaders. So when you're beating a third place team, and at that stage we were kind of rooted to the bottom of the league, it does send a message, and we've now got to find a way to keep doing that.
Well, I'm going to break from tradition and not ask you a question here. I just need you to sit back and listen to this bit, because you gave the players huge credit. I think there has to be a bit of credit given to you and your JT and your coaching squad to have picked the team up from that previous week to put in a performance like that. I'm not asking you to comment. Let's just go to coach's corner so we can enjoy the goals again, Martin.
Yeah, just doing our job, Andy. Just doing it. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this week we're just again on that positive theme after a difficult week. We're literally going to go through the goals, or our goals, and we start on this first one with a bit of zone time. We win the face off. We're able to cycle a puck. Kieran again goes on the hunt. I think Kel here, you see, does a great job keeping that puck in, using his hand, and we. Pete's coming downhill, and Kieran was just Johnny on the spot with a cracking finish. I think it shows it on the replay. Then you get a second one. Now they were actually on the rush. We make a little turnover. It gets a little bit scrappy, but Kersey does a good job. Nolan was a lovely drop pass. And some finish for Lewis.
It was brilliant.
I think that he deserved that.
And in previous weeks, we've been talking about us making little mistakes and other teams capitalising. Now our turn to capitalise and be clinical on the mistakes.
That second one there, they just turned the puck over just on the red line. Our kind of forecheck was about trying to make teams make the mistakes that they've been forcing us into. Boys deserve credit on that one. And ultimately, I think we could probably all agree, even last week, but a couple of weeks before, 3-4 weeks before, that ends up missing the net.
Yep.
Or it ends up being blocked or bounces. And, I guess some of our wee complaints were we getting the bounces? We created our own luck there, and we've been clinical. And, going into this third period, 2-0 up was, I think I said to the players at the end of both periods, we've found ways in the last few weeks to lose their periods. That 1-0 first period would have been, against Leeds it was 2-1.
Yeah.
We found a way to kind of lose that period. The 2-0 would have ended up being 2-2 or 4-2 to them, or just we found ways. But I thought that that whole game we found a way to keep our noses in front, block shots, make saves at the right time. Takes us into that third period knowing if you win a period of hockey, you're getting your win. So that's kind of what we focused on. This one, it was just hard work on the power play. Jordan McLaughlin makes a really good save for Peaks there, but we don't give up. And we could see we were asking about shooting the puck more. Great composure for Peaks there. And, he finds the bottom corner there. I think that it would have been very easy to try and shoot high and potentially miss the net or get the shot blocked. But
this was the one that we had possession in that offensive
I think
zone
the whole 2 minutes, just about, it was right near the end of the power play before it went in. But
there was so many players doing everything to keep the puck in the zone to stop the change.
And I think
well,
what you don't see for the video, I think Olivier himself kept that puck in 3 or 4 times on the blue line.
100%.
And
it
again,
just slowed them down, didn't it?
It's just been ruthless. We discussed that during the game as well, of just finding a way. And I know, as I say, we discussed special teams, and obviously we all know stuff that's online and out there of people wanting us to, me especially, wanting us to be better. But I think this was the key of not just shooting for shooting's sake. It was finding the right time. Craig showed just his experience and poise there to just wait it out a little bit. He makes a goalie move and goes low across him, known as a worst case. Dunny's at that back post for any kind of rebound, but
and unbelievably, Nolan got credited with that goal. It was Clinton Peacock every day of the week. I struggle with that. It wasn't even a debate, was it?
And then we go to this, obviously the fourth one, which was just perseverance here. There's a battle on the wall. It would have been easy for us to get involved. Even though actually really what it's going to show, I think it's maybe missed the
missed the actual goal.
Last one. We had the last one. But yeah, I mean, I think even just watching this clip without any end product, it's just the perseverance now that we've been lacking. I think we've been missing bits. And
it was Boyd with the last goal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he enjoyed it,
and he had every right to enjoy it. So for whatever reason, it was on the Instat, but we'll call this a technical glitch. But the last goal was, Lewis Young was hard working. He drops the puck back to Ross Murray, who I wound him up on the bench saying he was trying to shoot the puck, but he seen Boyd at the back post, and much like Kieran's first one, it was just Kieran's goal, the first goal for us.
Right place,
Johnny
right
on
time.
The spot. Easy to probably put it in the goalie's pads, and in weeks gone by we would have mishandled or fluffed our lines there, if you like. But we're ruthless, and I think the difference being also we got up. Yes, they were always going to come back. I think their first goal was by Callum, caught him in the side of the head.
He hit his helmet.
And then the last goal maybe
it's a 6-on-4.
Maybe takes a bit of shine off it, but it's a 6-on-4 they execute. But I think just...
Were you worried at all throughout the game? It just felt like we were going to win that game for period one, didn't it?
Like, as I say, I knew they were a good team. I knew that Matty has an offensively talented team there, and I knew that they would come, and I knew that they would at some point try and mix it physically, which they did at times. And at one point, probably worried. I was never worried, as I say. The only time I really felt I had to get a grip on things was the after Kieran took a sore knee on knee. We kind of lost a bit of composure because obviously we felt a sense of injustice and one of their teammates is injured. But it was more then about focusing the team on controlling their emotions and just reminding them we were winning a hockey game.
Keeping their eye on the bigger prize.
We were winning a hockey game, and Kieran was, thankfully, he was okay. He was sore and he left the game, but he was okay. So it was, we would rather win a hockey game for Kieran at that stage and an injured teammate than just get ourselves caught up in something. But give them their due, they had that shift or two of being a wee bit wobbly, I would call it. Kind of out of position, trying to get physically into battles that we didn't really need to go into. And then we got our composure back, and ultimately more importantly, we've seen it through where, again, we keep going back to it, but in weeks gone by, that probably somehow would have ended up 4-4 or 5-4 to them, or I don't think we ever looked in danger. And even when we lost the 6-4 goal, a couple of voices on the bench, and I'm reminding them, I think there was 10 seconds to go, so just relax. We still had done our job by that stage, and as I say, I think for the whole building and everybody in it, it was nice to see the reward.
I kind of understood probably why Hull tried the 6-1-4 and all that. They were trying to get momentum for the next night. There was no doubt in my mind, we scored 2, we're right back in this. Well, obviously there wasn't a game the next night, but it was a comprehensive win. There's no doubt in that in my mind. We didn't look in danger at any point.
Well, I just thought we'd done a really good job at nullifying an offensively gifted team who, when you look back, we brought up some of the Instat stuff, the kind of stats last week, and I think they scored 5 in Telford and they'd scored 6 in another game. They beat Milton Keynes. I think they scored 7 goals in Milton Keynes, and so they've been scoring goals. We nullified that threat, but we imposed ourselves on the game and we played in the front foot. And one of the things we did discuss was the forwards leading, the defensive side of the game. As soon as we lose the puck, we kind of hunt it down. And I just, you're right what you said earlier. I thought it was probably our most complete performance. I know a few people have said kind of since Coventry. It was closer to Sharks hockey than we've seen for a while. And as I say, ultimately, I was just pleased for everybody, from players especially, fans, ownership. I don't think there was even any relief. I think it was just happiness in terms of, I thought that was a solid performance. Obviously, I think we would have quite happily went and we're looking forward to playing Sunday. Hull were trying to get momentum. I agree. I would have done the exact same thing. And they had a couple of chances before that on the 6-on-4. I guess in Matty's head, you're thinking, if you score really early on that, there's maybe still a minute to go, 50 odd seconds, anything can happen. But we've done a good job in even keeping them not scoring on that 6-on-4 for as long as we did.
Shots was a bit level at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah, I think ultimately both teams, I still think both teams played well. I know we discussed in that segment earlier, Hull fans being upset with their team, and we've not seen them this year so far until Saturday. So I don't know how they've played apart from video, but I know both teams came to play. It was fast, it was furious, it was free-flowing at times. But I just thought we executed better and we looked in control. And we looked like the home team, which, we've been used to for so long. And now the biggest key of the lot now, and as you keep joking to me about that one game at a time, we now got to take this on to the next one. And we discussed consistency, so it's now about being as consistent as we can be, taking us into a very difficult game against a well-coached and good Swindon team. And we've got 2 home games here now, so let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I think we'll move on to those 2 home games now. The hockey has been great every week. I've said, even though we've been getting beat, it's been joy to watch. It was incredibly joyful Saturday, and we're hoping for more of the same Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, obviously the whole hope is a 4-point weekend. Swindon will come here with the same thoughts of trying to get a 4-point weekend and upset us in our home building. I know they've had some troubles to seek themselves, and I feel sorry for Aaron and the organisation, because they've had to train in different places, and with what's happened with the flooding in their rink. But they're still a good team. They've picked up some good wins already, and a difficult start for them. Offensively, Aaron himself is an out-and-out goal scorer. Malazinski is one of the best imports, or has been for years in this league. So I think they've got a lot of depth. Offensively, they're solid defensively. Rennie Marr and Tyler Perry are a good goaltending duo. Rennie certainly been one of the best in the league for a while, so it's a tough game, but it's one we're looking forward to. It's one that we're excited to get back on the ice, and we just want to try and find a way again to keep the train rolling, get the first one on Saturday, and then we'll take care of Sunday after that. Well,
you gave a message last weekend to the fans, and just before you give this weekend's message to the fans, I've got a wee message. Remember to like, share and subscribe this video on this channel. It really helps the Sharks, so please pay your fees, like the video, share the video, it's appreciated. So yeah, Martin, last weekend you said to the fans, be patient, and that patience was borne out by a huge performance from the Sharks. What's your message this weekend?
It's really similar. I think the patience was appreciated. I think we're still building, and we're still going to come in here and obviously do everything again in our power to get the first win first on Saturday night, and then take that into Sunday. So continue to stick with us. Continue to be patient. Continue to be loud and proud. And hopefully you enjoyed, rightly so, you enjoyed last Saturday, and we'll try and replicate that performance. It's a little bit of rivalry in this one in terms of my very good friends, Scott and Ian Plews. Scott, an ex-Shark, Ian, an ex-Viking, and my roommate. Scott's son Tyler plays for for Swindon. So there's a bit of bragging rights in there as well. So if you can help me make some noise and get one over on my old pals, then that'd be nice as well.
Fantastic. Just like to say thank you to you, Martin, for spending some time with me today. I know it's been a really busy day because of the under-20 team, and you had a media day here today. How did that go before we finish?
Excuse me, Andy. No, it was good. It was the launch of the championships that are coming here in December. So it was myself, Kel Beattie, Andy French was here from Ice Hockey UK, local media. So it was positive. It's always great to bring international level competition to the Ice Bowl. They've obviously always done a fantastic job in hosting these events as well as ourselves as Sharks week on week. So yeah, it was nice to be able to kind of spread the word and try and promote that event. And now it's back to the serious stuff of the Sharks and trying to get 4 points this weekend.
Well, thank you for your time as always. And we'll speak to you again next week, hopefully, when we're talking about hopefully a 4-point weekend.
Well, that's the plan, and thanks for having me again.
No worries. Thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it. Take care and we'll speak to you soon.